Hello, and welcome back to the Alexander Society podcast, where we have brought to you yet another mystery docket. I'm your host, Tim, and I'm going to take my 30 seconds of fame to launch a middling successful investigative journalism podcast series. And with me is my co-host and best buddy, Derek, who is green at the thought of seeing more beauty pageants. How are you, Derek?
I'm great at the thought of seeing any beauty pageants. I don't know what you're talking about. More beauty pageants? What do you take me for? You think I'm going to beauty pageants? Come on now. What kind of man do you take me for?
I meant like hearing about it, but hey ho. This is like the third or fourth time our episodes have involved beauty pageants.
Oh, beauty pageants are like step one to every great like murder mystery.
I mean, arguably, yes. That usually shows up. So
Pageants of every kind are genuinely, at this point, just a public health concern.
I mean, it's where a lot of grooming and rape happens, so yeah.
Maybe we were a mistake.
Humanity was a mistake. End us all. Comment 2028.
I'm doing great, Tim. How are you doing?
Today was fucking interesting. So yesterday I got in, and they were like, hey, can you help out on Sunday instead of doing your normal shift here at another store, because it's the fair, that's the store right next to the fair. They always have increased demand, all that blah, 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 blah. I'm like, fine, it's whatever. I've helped out there before. I'm usually as AP towing cars out of the way, but yeah, I've dealt with that kind of traffic before. It's fine. And then an hour later, like, oh, never mind. Instead of Sunday, we need you to do Monday. I was like, okay, it's whatever. So I go home that night, still believing, hey, I have Sunday off, so I made plans with my siblings. We were going to go watch the new Demon Slayer movie. And then I get into work, it's like, hey, change of plans. It's Sunday again. I'm like, I made plans, guys. You told me I had the day off. What are you drinking, Derek?
Yeah, so what am I drinking, actually? I decided to see if I could finish off these drinks here. I don't know if finish them off is the right word, but I'm definitely going to be finishing off this Deep Eddy. I pulled out the Deep Eddy Orange Classic, 35%, Austin, Texas.
Yeah, we've kind of fallen in love with Deep Eddy.
Beautiful vodka. Deep Eddy is such good vodka. They do flavored vodkas right. I love them to death. Best thing to come out of Austin, hands down. And I love it. I'm going to keep coming back to it. You know what? Probably next episode we're going to be doing like Eastern Europe, so I'll pull out some more vodka. We'll do that. And then if I run out of that, I'm going to be going back to the American Honey, just the honey bourbon.
Fair enough.
And this stuff is, I can never remember how much this stuff is. It's 35.5%. And then for my sipper, I'm pulling out my favorite local brew. It's Angry Scotsman. This is their Oktoberfest. It's a German Marzen. Pretty dry, pretty malty. Just nice classic lager. Very good. Very, very, very fall. And it makes me happy to drink.
Angry Scotsman's got some really nice stuff, even like I'm not a fan of the style of stuff they do. Like I can't even admit that they got some high quality shit.
Yeah, their stuff is definitely unique. They've got they take a unique route with their drinks, and I like it a lot. I understand why other people wouldn't. Yeah. Tim, what are you drinking?
So today I'm drinking Kentucky Tangerine Cream Ale. It was aged in bourbon barrels. I'm trying to figure out where the brewery is. I think Kentucky is the brand? No, it's brewed and packaged by Lexington Brewing Company in Lexington, Kentucky. It is 5.5 on alcohol, and it's got like you got your classic ale flavor, but like right at the front there's like a little bit of a creamsicle orange cream kind of flavor right there at the front.
Yeah, that is fascinating to me. I don't know why, but that strikes me as a really interesting combination. I'm sure it's fine.
It's really good. And honestly, I fucking hated anything that's aged in bourbon barrels, but I didn't see that when I ordered it. And I was like, oh shit. Well, I'm just not going to throw it out unless like the first drink I'm like, fuck it. And then I'll go with a backup beer like I've done a couple times. But I quite enjoy it. It's got like, you can get that little bit of the acidity at the end or whatever you want to call that you can tell it's that twang from the
little twang
barrels that it really gets you.
Yeah. Ooh, yeah, I love that. I don't like it when it's too strong. Yeah. Fun fact, did you know that my grandfather is or my grandfather was from Kentucky.
I did not.
Yeah, my dad's dad. It's the only the only reason why I have an English last name. But yeah, he's from Harlan County, Kentucky, coal country. He was Appalachian.
Interesting.
I didn't know him very well, but he had some interesting stories that I learned secondhand. Anyways, what's your shots?
So I'm going back to Blue and Shea Bay, the vanilla rum. It's 26.5% alcohol. It's pretty good vanilla flavored rum. It's not the best rum I've had, but like for flavored rum, it's up there.
Yeah.
I think it's one of the best flavored rums I've had. I'll actually say it's just it's not comparable to some like it's not. It ain't got a candle to Bamboo, but almost nothing does.
Yeah, and you're not exactly a huge rum guy either.
It's not. I will drink it before I drink gin by a long shot. It for me, I think it's like vodka. I like it a lot more than I like whiskey for sure. So it goes like tequila, vodka, probably rum, and then whiskey. I probably will never ever like drink a gin on the podcast unless like there's some special circumstance around that.
Yeah, you're culturally a rum drinker, not like a dedicated rum. You're a rum drinker because all of your friends are rum drinkers.
I guess you could say that. A lot of you guys liked rum, and we had.
I fucking love rum.
Sucks that most of my rum drinking prior to the podcast was mostly Malibu, and then occasionally someone would like bring Blackheart or something else.
Oh, Kraken. Remember the days of Kraken?
I refused to drink Kraken when Eli brought it around.
I don't mind Kraken, but if I want spiced rum for like that quality, I'll just get some Blackheart. It's better.
I everything that I smelled it before I refused it, and it smelled like it was going to be a bit like coffee, like the dark, deep bitter, like in the same vein of stouts for me. So I was like, nah, I'm good.
You're like a cultural rum drinker the same way that I'm like a cultural Catholic. Like I'm not really Catholic, but Catholic makes a lot more sense to me than like Protestants do, if that makes sense.
I guess. I mean, I grew up kind of like a diet Catholic. We were Methodist for a long time. That's.
I've never been to a Methodist service. I've been. See, to me, Catholic Mass is completely normal. Like, it's so uniform, I know it. It doesn't matter where I go for a Catholic Mass, it's the same everywhere, so I know it like the back of my hand. For somebody who's not familiar with it, it's like being on a different fucking planet.
Oh, I felt so fucking out of place because this was so much different than what I'm used to.
Yeah, it's like, it is like you get transported to like a completely different time period in human history. They just happen to be speaking in a language you understand. But it is like an insanely different culture from like what you're used to outside of church.
Yeah.
Whereas you go to like a Baptist church and like there can be a lot of fire and brimstone, but like you're singing songs that are like vaguely related to genres you're familiar, like you listen to on a daily basis. The preachers preaching in like a language that you really understand. You're not like doing all of these calisthenics, like kneeling and then standing up and then holding hands and praying in Latin and all of this stuff. It's more like a meeting and less like a ceremony, which is more that.
Yeah, that's what I got from that little bit I saw.
Yeah, like the Catholic Church, like a lot of those ceremonies have been really just unchanged for 2,000 years. And it really shows. It really shows in how different it is just from, everyday life. Whereas, everyday life just kind of naturally seeps into like a Protestant or at least like most Protestant. You know, you got your Catholic lights, like your Lutherans, your Methodists, your Episcopals, but other than that, like, it's really obvious that a lot of like modernity kind of like everyday life just kind of seeps into a Protestant Sunday service.
Yeah. So, you ready to take our shot and get into the episode, sir?
Hell yes. And we're not going to have any rules today. We're just I'm gonna.
Nah, not really. Derek's gonna vibe it. This is a shorter case for us. We don't know how long the episode is, but like the pure facts of it are a little bit trimmer than normal, and we might make this a shorter episode, or we might find enough discussion in it to make it longer. It's just there wasn't enough for me to come up with any kind of set of rules that I personally felt like was going to be consistent enough for us to use.
Anyways, Prost.
Cheers. Alrighty, so today we're talking about former beauty pageant queen Tara Grinstead.
Not familiar with the name, personally.
So this had a blip in like 2016, 2017, and then it's for the most part been like a very small case. So she was born in Hawksville, Georgia, to Bill and Faye Grinstead.
Hawktuasville?
What?
Hawktuasville?
Fuck you, Derek.
Anyways, go
on. She had one sibling, Anita Grinstead. And so, can you guess how this woman put herself through college?
Oh. If it wasn't Daddy's money, then I'm going to guess as a server or some sort of sex work.
Nope, I already mentioned it. She used her beauty pageant winnings.
Oh, really? So she... Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
So she won the title of Miss Tempton in 1999, and then she competed in the Miss Georgia beauty pageant. It doesn't say what year. And I don't know that it paid all of it, obviously, and I'm assuming she had a job throughout this, because even though this is the 90s, it's still like... College is not cheap, wasn't cheap back then either.
Yeah.
So she put herself through college. She graduated from Middle Georgia College in Cochran, and then she got her master's in 2003 from Valdosta State University. I have no idea how to pronounce that. Valdosta.
Valdosta.
I'm guessing. Oh, it was originally an all-girls college. That's neat. And she got her master's in education, like I said, in 2003. Sorry. Then in wow, I'm just dyslexiing it up today. In 1998, she began teaching history at Irwin County High School in Ocilla, Georgia.
Okay. Beauty pageant to public school teacher. That's a tale as old as time.
Yeah. What she was wanting to do is work her way up. You know that small town high school teacher that slowly went back to college. Like a lot of my teachers did this, and they're trying to work it up into school admin.
Yeah.
That's what she was working on. Unfortunately, and this is a huge fucking coincidence when I put her on our schedule. This month is the 20th anniversary of her disappearance.
Oh wow.
October when it comes out, obviously, not when we're recording.
Yeah.
So on the last time she is seen is October 27th, 2005, which is the night before she's officially declared. It's weird how they count her disappearance the day after, even though no one saw her after this. So she stopped in to visit a beauty pageant for some of the contestants that she was coaching, and then afterwards attended a barbecue. So that's her last confirmed sighting. On Monday, she doesn't show up for work. And her coworker's like, call the cops. We know she lived alone. And the cops start. It's a small town. They all know each other, so they're probably going to be less hesitant to be like, oh, we got to wait 24 hours. Blah 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 blah. They searched her home, and they found that her cell phone was in her house, and her car was still outside. Her purse and keys are missing.
Not a good sign.
Immediately, pat on the back for small law enforcement. They're like, this is out of our fucking wheelhouse. Call the GBI, Georgia Bureau of Investigation.
Side note, real quick. I was listening to a podcast today, and they were talking they were talking about the Texas, or not the Texas, the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, and kept referring to it as TBI, and it just got me giggling for some reason.
The only other there was no signs of forced entry or anything like that. This just looked like she just vanished, right?
Right. Yeah.
The only thing of note that they found there was a glove, like a latex rubber glove.
Oh God, OJ's back.
I knew you were going to say OJ. I'm going to take a sip on that one. I saw that coming.
Oh Jesus.
So there's a little bit of media reception, blah blah blah. It had a 48 hours mystery special on it. There, not a whole lot happens for years. There's a fake There's a hoax person who claims he's a serial killer, claims her killer, dubs himself the Catch Me Killer. They figured it out. He didn't ever kill anyone, as far as we know.
Oh, what a loser!
Yeah,
man, what a fucking one. That's stolen valor right there. Like, didn't even do the hard work of
serial killer with stolen valor.
I bet he's never dismembered a single body in his life. What a fucking asshole.
What a loser.
Jesus.
So in 2011, there's a statement made saying from the chief investigator at the GBI, case hasn't gotten cold. We're still getting leads on a weekly basis, which is just open investigation. They're going to say bullshit like that. Everyone knows that. Nothing really fucking happens until 2016, and we get this guy who seems like a genuinely cool, honest person, someone who's trying to be an investigative journalist, an aspiring filmmaker, Payne Lindsey.
Okay.
A little about Payne Lindsey. He's born November 21st, 1987, born in Kennesaw, Georgia. So, he was an aspiring filmmaker. He had done a little, small little, 13-minute documentary and all that. So, following Making a Murderer, that got big in 2015, he's like, he wants to do something like that. That's his end goal, is he wants to see what he can do with that. And he heard about Tara's case, and he wanted to make it a documentary, but he realized he's not going to have the budget, the resources to make that happen. But you know what was really big at that time, Derek?
What was this, 2015, 2016?
Yeah.
What was this?
It was the podcast boom.
Yeah, I guess it would be.
That was, everyone started a podcast and I think Serial had been around that time. A bunch of the ones that were making real differences were starting in that time. And apparently I think it was one of his grandmother's friends, don't quote me on this exact reason, was one of the last people to see Tara. And so he's like, I have connections. I can actually do boots on the ground interviews, investigative journalism, honest to God, trying to interview people and find out what the fuck's going on. Season 1 of Up and Vanished is actually in the earlier parts, as someone who's never done investigative journalism in that sense, he's making a true effort, and he's an inspiration at that point in time for it. And he is credited for getting this case solved, but it's not in the sense he interviewed someone and they gave him a tip that he had to hold on to, and then he was able to turn it into cops, or he got the person to go tell the law enforcement or whatever. Basically, he started stirring shit up and asking people the right questions, and it got media attention, and it got someone to actually do it. But I want to finish up on Payne Lindsey first. So it's kind of funny. Around the time he's starting the podcast, he gets married, right? And I told you he gets credit for solving the murder. It's blah 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 blah. So the season he split Up and Vanished into a couple seasons, and the first season is following Tara. He also did a story on the Atlanta Monster. Do you know that case?
Not familiar, no.
It's trying to think. I'm trying to get the Atlanta child murders from 79 to 81. Basically, over 25 children were murdered in that time, and then they caught the guy, and honestly, I didn't realize at the time why I didn't really like it, but basically it's all just trying to muddy the water and be like, her, oh, maybe this guy didn't do it. And he's interviewing the actual murderer, and then at the end, he kind of gives it basically like, oh, here's all the evidence against the guy, and it's just basically like, we threw the... They didn't literally catch him red-handed, but like there was enough evidence there, they'll be like, there's not really any doubt in my mind this guy did it. And I'm just like, why did you try and muddy the fucking waters on a case like this?
Because it would be controversial. And
this is where you start seeing the cracks. This is where you see the cracks on being an actual good investigative journalist and not just some glory hound that's, can I get like 30 more seconds of fame here?
Right, yeah.
But then, so Up and Vanish goes from 2016 to 2017, the big stuff. The break happens in 2017, where the stuff starts rolling in the podcast. Not the podcast, but like on that case, and like they start arresting people. There's a very interesting thing with the case actually at that time, which I did not agree. So the judge basically put a gag order on it and stopped anyone from talking about the case. Like full stop, no media, no nothing. And that caused the case to actually get delayed over countersuits, which it got overturned at the Supreme Court, Georgia Supreme Court.
But so what was the gag order for? Just because so many people were looking into it? Like,
it was, quote, in order to protect perpetrators' right to a fair trial.
Okay. Back up a little bit. What trial are we talking about? I think I missed something.
So I told you earlier that I was going to kind of go off, like trying to finish the Payne Lindsey part.
Okay. Yeah.
And then talk about what was coming forward. I haven't gotten to that part, but when the person is caught, which will happen, and they're brought to trial, the judge, like I said, puts a gag order on it, and it gets challenged by local TV stations in Georgia, and it's successfully tossed out in 2018. Because of all these challenges, the trial for the perpetrator doesn't start, so they are arrested in 2017. It's March of 2019 when he's actually begins his trial.
Okay, but who?
I'm gonna get to that later. Like I'm trying to. This is connected because he was I don't know if he officially joined the lawsuit, but he was trying to be there at the scene, and that was part of his investigative journalism at the courtroom. Like he was trying to be a part of that, the podcast, and he was like, well, they put a gag order and all that. So as this is all basically his fame, he's writing his fame from the Tara Grinstead trial, not trial, but case, and then as things go on, he gets a big fucking head, and guess what he does? He doesn't do anything like, rich person. He divorces his wife in 2018. And apparently, I don't...
Why?
It was a 2-year marriage. I don't know. He was fucking early 30s. This is all reports secondhand, but everyone just generally calls him a douchebag, and apparently he's sauntered up not long after his divorce to a wedding, just with what I can't remember the exact story, but with a new person, and it wasn't long after his divorce, and he was just being an obnoxious prick that acted like he was a celebrity, even though he's a micro celebrity at best. No one has a good thing to say about him that's met him, from what I've heard. Even though this was literally, he started his podcast being really good investigative journalism, talking about how how some people will have a cookie or whatever. He started making jokes about sending people his grandma's cowboy cookies, and then when he started getting big and got Patreon supporters, he actually did send out cowboy cookies from his grandma, wholesome stuff. And then he just turns into he let the little bit of celebrity he got from this turn him into a complete douchebag.
Okay, so basically what we're setting up here is that the guy who's kind of responsible for breaking this whole case is an enormous asshole. And is that going to fuck up the case in any way?
Yeah. No, I just, because he was such an integral part of, like, while he did not directly have the interview that person and get them to go to the GBI, it's very clear that he was the cause of this getting solved. You know what I mean?
Right.
I felt like I should cover him. Also, he's not a good podcaster at all. Like, so he was like, "Oh, I did great on this. I'm going to pick another case," and he starts investigating it the same way, like he's going to solve it. But he's like, "Oh, we're just going to have to put a hiatus on this part of the season, until we get more." And he picked a case that was so much harder to try and solve. Like the Tara Grinstead had, like, it was a local case. He had connections. He should have, like, just followed the same chain of pattern if he was hoping to get another case solved. He did not. And they've had like 4 seasons where, like, basically, like, everyone's like, "Oh, we're kind of expecting you to at least make progress and, like, get the case moving forward, at least, even if you don't solve it." And, like, he's had 3 seasons, maybe even 4 beyond after Tara Grinstead, where, like, basically they just stall out and have to just end that season on that person because nothing comes of it.
Right. Yeah, he caught lightning in a bottle once and kept trying to do it again, and it just never worked out.
And he didn't fundamentally understand how, like, he started to catch the, like, he did not go about the right way to pick his cases, is what I hear. I stopped after season 1 because, like, there wasn't like a hard and fast, like, the end of season 1, and then because, like, he was the court case got everything dragged along, and then there was the Atlantic Monster thing, and I just kind of lost interest in it. So it's whatever. And I still don't know how his podcast label, Tenderfoot TV, is still making podcasts, but whatever. They're not very good.
Disappointing.
Very disappointing. So in 2017, we find out that a woman named Brooke Sheridan comes forward to the GBI. You know what she tells him?
Something tells him that she knows where the body is?
I mean, probably was in there. She comes forward and tells them that her boyfriend, Bo Dukes, helped cover up the murder. You want to you want to know? You want to? Okay, it gets worse. You're probably gonna call a shot for this. Her boyfriend, Bo Dukes, helped his high school best friend, Ryan Duke, no relation.
Oh, what a name! What a name! What a name! Oh, let's take a sip for that.
How in the world do you have 2 idiots involved in a murder, and one is Bo Dukes and one of them is Ryan Duke?
Yeah, Bo Dukes is still that's just classic. That's just Ryan Duke is whatever. Bo Dukes is.
How in the world do you have 2 idiots involved in a murder, and one is Bo Dukes and one of them is Ryan Duke?
Well, if you have the last name Duke or Dukes, it's almost guaranteed you're a moron. So if you have 2 people in the vicinity with the last name, by definition, you're gonna have 2 morons with the same last name.
Yeah. So Bo helps cover up. I'm going to use their first names because it's less confusing. Helped cover up Tara's murder. Here's a thing that's going to piss you off.
Disappointing. I'd expect so much more from a guy named Bo.
They are former students of Tara's.
Oh, that's not good. That's bad. I don't like that.
Yeah. And murder has nothing to do with her teaching ability. They weren't pissed at her or nothing.
Then, okay, hey, keep going. I'm curious to find out what the motive was.
So I'm assuming this happened on the Sunday, so the 23rd of October, because she was last seen on the 22nd. 23rd is the day she supposedly. Ryan is breaking into Tara's house and trying to rob her, and she comes home while he's in the middle of trying to rob her.
Why would you rob somebody? It's a small town. I don't know why I'm even asking. It's impossible. If you're going to rob somebody, it's always going to be somebody you know.
Your high school history teacher.
Yeah, that's the thing, though. Like, why would you rob your own teacher? Like,
I think they're like early 20s at this point. Because she started
like,
teaching in like 98, and this is 05, so they can't be that old if they were her students.
Yeah, there's only like most of my teachers would remember who I am. Not all of them, but it's a small town. She probably had some pretty small class sizes.
Oh yeah, like
she's gonna know who these fucking guys are.
Over half the school that is currently there would have known me, and I didn't. Almost all my teachers are gone from my school. Like not literally, but like a good portion of the ones I actually had.
Right.
So in order to cover up his crime, he strangulates Tara.
Buddy, that's a bad decision.
And so they dump her off at a pecan orchard on Bo's family property.
On your own. Oh, jeez. Okay, so we're not dealing with two geniuses.
Absolutely the fuck no. I don't know how the fuck it took them 11 years to solve this case. Well, 12-ish, but whatever. I'm currently reading from and I have my notes from the CBS News article because they kind of talk about this. It was the easiest thing that was not a podcast form that I didn't have to listen to like dozens of hours of shit that I just to get any kind of notes.
Right.
And can you guess what they did to get rid of the body? It is one of the most country things you can think of.
Oh, did they feed her to pigs?
No. Think of a very country thing that normally has nothing to do with hiding a body.
I don't know. Tire burn?
Close. They bonfired that bitch. They created a bonfire on the orchard for 2 days straight.
Sir, did you just call a murder victim a bitch?
I was meaning more like the property, but whatever. I did not mean to call the victim a bitch. That was not my verbiage intention.
Yes.
I was calling like I was meaning like as in that bitch on the property.
Yeah, I understand you. That just sounded really bad.
I take that back. I was not intending to call today's topic a bitch.
Yeah, But okay, so I thought bonfire was too. I was thinking bonfire. I was like, no, that's too obvious.
Yeah.
But they did it for 2 days. See, that's the thing, though, is it doesn't matter how long you burn it for. Certain parts of the human body it's not a matter of how long you burn it for, it's the temperature. Bonfire is not going to get hot enough.
I was told they used, I think, gasoline or diesel, but, yeah.
Yeah, that's not going to get hot enough. That's going to cap off at, I don't know, 1,800 degrees? You need, 4,000 degrees to, really get rid of it.
Remember our glove?
Oh, yeah. Where does the glove
Well,
come?
they had DNA in it. They could never find it up. Oh, they matched it right up to Ryan.
So what that's telling me is that Ryan never had a criminal record outside of this. Is that true?
As far as I can tell, yes.
Huh. That's actually the most fascinating part of this whole story to me. The fact that he never had a criminal record outside of that they could be able to get the DNA from him to match it. That is genuinely actually shocking to me.
You're going to hate how the trial turned out.
Oh, God. Okay. Well, I usually hate how trials turn out, so let's go for it.
So, none of the trials took all that long. But, well, at least Bo Dukes, the person who helped conceal the crime, right?
Right.
he ends up being found guilty on all accounts and is charged with 25 years in prison. So he just helped conceal it, burn the body, whatever, right?
Right.
It takes all the way till 2022 to go on trial for Ryan.
Okay.
And through all this rigmarole, basically he claims the confession he gave a confession in 2017 was basically coerced. It was a false confession because he was afraid of his friend.
Oh, shut up, dude.
He claims that Bo is the one who killed Tara, and that he didn't know how Tara died, and that he'd gone to the orchard and helped. Basically, so Bo says it was Ryan. Ryan says it was Bo. So in May of 2022, Ryan is acquitted of malice murder, felony murder, aggravated assault, and burglary, but found guilty of concealing a death. So they both are not found guilty of the murder. They're both found guilty of concealing the murder.
That blows, actually. But
But Ryan only gets 10 years.
Are you... Fuck you. Shut up. Shut up. The guy who did it gets 10, and the guy who helped burn the body gets 25.
The guy who had DNA evidence on the crime scene back in the day is the one who gets less time.
Alright, fucking shoot. That's bullshit. Gross.
Cheers.
What a load of horse shit.
Oh, yeah.
I appreciate the principles of the justice system.
So he's probably Ryan is probably about 21 when this happens. So they're really early 20s at the time of the murder, because he was her teacher he was her student 3 years before the murder.
It's just so dumb. It's just it's tragic and it's terrible.
There's no justice in this. Yes, they both got time, but neither one of them got convicted of hey, you did this.
Yeah, there really was no justice.
Honestly, what Bo said, it sounds like obviously I could be biased. It sounds like the truth. He probably did help cover up the murder, and that's what's that's shitty. But that sucks that he got the most time. Fucking Ryan should have been thrown away the fucking key.
Honestly, I'd feel a lot better of it if those sentences were reversed.
Yeah, same.
If
the charges were the same, I'd be fine as long as Ryan got the 25 and Bo got the 10. Because I feel more confident in saying Ryan is the murderer than I would say Bo is the murderer.
Right. Yeah, because Bo is okay, yeah, you helped cover up the murder, but one, you as much as I hate to admit it, at 21 or whatever, you're still kind of a fucking kid.
You're still a fuck-up kid, yeah. It's not that, it's not okay, but it makes more sense that a kid did that than...
Yeah, what I'm thinking in my mind is that Bo hasn't demonstrated that he's a cold-hearted killer that isn't able to be, redeemed. Or not Bo, Bo. Bo, he and granted, I don't know the guy, but...
Well, so what a lot of the issue with this case and a lot of people being able to make up their mind if Bo or Ryan is the killer is... This is a lot of shit that we only found out any of the information at the trial. No extra information came out outside of the trial that they tried to gag order.
So it's really hard. There's just a lot of shit about this case that's kind of up in the air. It sounds like that.
Yeah, and he might be a shithead from whatever thing I've seen on Reddit of people talking about their interactions with him, and how poorly he tried to continue his up and vanished. Payne Lindsey did end up helping this get solved. He stirred the pot. He got media attention. I do not think this would be solved without him.
Right.
I am confident in saying that. Like, we get one day to look at timelines. We look at the timeline where Payne Lindsey wasn't involved in this case, and I don't think this murder gets solved.
So how did he actually solve it? Like, what?
He did in person, or as close as he could, interviews, talking to people, finding leads. He did like investigative journalism where he's like, okay, he called this person, or he went down and talked to this person. What do you know about this, the case? Do you remember this thing, that thing? And then he's like, oh, I can find more information from this person. And he did the link tree where he's like literally going from person to person doing like actual detective work.
So that raises the question, if he was able to do this like a decade after the fact, why weren't the investigators able to do this at the time?
So I did not bring this up mostly because, like, I think I would have to go back and listen to Up and Vanish, and I didn't want to spend that much time, but two, I really didn't want to give him the extra listens again. But from what I remember, it sounded like one of either Bo or Ryan's family is kind of well connected, and it sounded like not necessarily that the law enforcement looked the other way, like knew he did it kind of thing. It's more like
Okay. I understand now.
Their direction wasn't looked at because they were high regarded in the area, so they couldn't look in the right direction to make the right connections to actually make progress.
Right. Those are okay. Yeah. Those are the.
It's not necessarily the normal. Like, yes, he's a benefit of the good old boy system, but not in the direct sense of like a lot of the time it's like an overt like, yeah, we don't look into us. You kind of know what's going on, kind of thing. This is more like, oh, he good boy. We know him. We wouldn't think to look at him, kind of thing.
Right. Yeah. It's like it couldn't have been him. He came from a good family.
Yeah. It's what everyone says about the serial killers and murders. Oh, I would have never guessed. He was such a good boy, kind of thing. But like from law enforcement's perspective, we would have never looked into him because we wouldn't have like. And it wasn't local law enforcement that was investigating this. They immediately turned it over to the GBI.
And I'm guessing that the GBI probably spent a good chunk of their investigation probably looking at, I don't know, like that family down by the creek that lives in the trailer and has a.
Well, it could be. Well, the thing about this is outside of the DNA evidence, there's not a whole lot of directions to go on. Like, it's not like it was well known that Ryan was burglarizing houses, according to like what I believe is the most likely story. It's not like anything like. It's one of those things where, like, yes, he did it, but, like, there was no real thing connecting him to the crime unless he got caught for something else later on in life and then his DNA was connected. There wasn't going to be any way to connect these cases without someone coming forward. Like, there's no obvious thing to just, like, pull on the strings of.
Yeah, that also explains the why he didn't have a criminal record later on.
Yeah, I bet you Tara wasn't the first person he burglarized. He just probably got away with it. It was probably something he did a few times because it didn't. Sounds like he didn't necessarily come from money, but he was
right. Yeah,
he was small town well off, but he was probably just a stupid fucking 21-year-old. And I broke into a couple houses and he decided to cover it up, so he strangled her, and he probably didn't mean to kill her, but he was probably just trying to, like, okay, knock her out. Oh, she's dead. Hide the body. That's kind of what it feels like to me. Like, and I could be wrong, and I might be giving Ryan the benefit of the doubt, but like it just that seems like that sounds like some shit that would happen in a small town, and it sounds like it's about right. Any soapboxes you want to jump on before we get out of here, Derek?
What the fuck is up with Georgia cops?
I mean, I get anytime I genuinely do not know where this like stereotype in my head comes from, but I get fat cop eating donut vibes anytime I think of Georgia cops, and I do not know why. Like, I have no other state do I have like a caricature of their cops in my head like that, but Georgia, I do have that caricature in my head.
I have caricatures of cops in my head, like for different states. Sometimes, like Texas cops, I always picture as like I always picture I always picture Texas cops with like a cowboy hat,
Like a Texas Ranger.
not even just like they all wear the cowboy hat, and I just imagine them at like a taco stand for some reason. I don't know. Instead of donuts, it's like a taco stand. I don't know why.
I get, like, for Oklahoma cops, I just get, like, the caricature of the highway patrol, but, like, that person who's literally just trying to get their department extra money by writing you a speeding ticket. Like, that's the kind of, like,
See, whenever I think of Oklahoma cops, I think highway patrol, and it's just the same stereotype as like the Marines, because they're all Marines.
my refrigerator sounds like it's going to blow up.
Like, I've known 3 Oklahoma highway patrol officers in my life.
And they're the same person?
All 3 of them were the exact same guy, and all 3 of them were retired Marines.
That makes sense.
I think I heard some crazy stat somewhere, like a full 35 or 40% of all Oklahoma highway patrol were not just former service, but specifically former Marines.
That makes so much sense.
Yeah, like every Marine in the that comes from the state of Oklahoma, when they get out of the service, they go and become Oklahoma Highway Patrol. I don't know why.
It's like you get your DD-214, and then immediately highway patrol recruiting officer just spawns in.
Yeah, like they've got, like, when you get off the, you hitch the free ride on the AC-130 or fucking whatever, or whatever that giant fuck off plane they transport shit on, and you hop off to go back to your podunk fucking small town Oklahoma, Watonga or whatever. You hop off the plane, and right outside the gates at Tinker is just an OHP officer handing you like an application form.
I'll see you on Monday, boy. And they feel like they got no choice, so they have to.
Yeah, like you're gonna catch them at a vulnerable time. They're like, okay, I'm out of the service. All I know how to do is shoot an M4
and fill out unnecessary paperwork.
Drink ungodly amounts of energy drinks. Energy drinks and Zins is the extent of my career knowledge. What do I do with that? I know. I joined the highway cops.
Because a regular old cop ain't good enough, goddammit.
Yeah, regular cop has rules and shit. Like, you gotta listen to the mayor. Highway cops, they don't have a fucking boss. They can do whatever they want.
I can go speeding after some bitches, hell yeah! So, Derek, where can everyone find you at?
They could find me on Blue Sky at Visigoth. The O is a 0. I'm thinking about getting onto Instagram. I have an Instagram account. I'm thinking about starting to post like miniatures and stuff there.
Hell yeah.
So, I can't even remember what my Instagram tag is. Hold on, I can pull it up real quick. Let's just take a second. My Instagram is DerekPeace97, so if you want to hop over there. I haven't posted anything yet. But.
And then they can find me at Tim, a.k.a. Otis, on Blue Sky. And then they can find the podcast on Facebook and Instagram on the Alexander Society Pod, on Blue Sky at Alex Society Pod, and then on TikTok at Alexander Society. And if they've liked what they listened to, they can give us a rate review on their streaming platform of choice, and we will see you next time.